let's talk about another person on this list who I struggled with, and I think you probably did too. And it is a matter of balancing the past with the present, and that's Lincoln Riley, because Lincoln Riley would have been in a top 5 on both of our lists the year he took the USC job.
Oh yeah, maybe number 3 or something. Well, no, Saban would have been on that list too,
right?
And
Harbaugh was there, was still coaching, but Lincoln Riley has made a pretty precipitous fall, and he's trying to do some stuff now. Like they've hired the GM away from Notre Dame. They hired another front office type person away from Wisconsin. Like they're trying to make moves now to help their talent acquisition. And I think that it actually gets back to what we've talked about, is that Lincoln Riley has never been good enough at the talent acquisition at a high school piece.
Yeah. And like part of that too was like bizarre because he was at a place that was near the most talent dense state in the entire country that has a great footing. Like Oklahoma and Texas is like basically an in-state thing. And they've done a pretty good job, but like the reason why Lincoln Riley was on my list to begin with is the same he's on your list. The Big 12 championships and the Heisman winners happened.
Yeah.
Okay. Like,
and the thing is, like, you felt like you were guaranteed that he would have a dominant quarterback every single year.
Yeah. But what USC is in relation to what I thought it was going to be is it's not even, it's not even in the same galaxy of what I thought it was going to be.
And it goes back to, and he doesn't, he bristles at these questions, but the actions tell a different story. Like, as soon as it became clear Oklahoma was going to the SEC, he wanted out. He didn't want any part of having to deal with Alabama and Georgia and Texas. Well, Texas he was going to deal with them anyway.
That's a conspiracy theory.
That is not a conspiracy theory.
It is.
His actions on the recruiting trail told you he was not willing to swim in that shark tank.
Is it possible that he just wanted to swim in the Pacific Ocean?
It's possible. It's possible, but the thing is, he goes to the Big Ten, which I'm assuming USC informed him that they were moving or thinking about moving when he took the job. But the Big Ten's just as much of a shark tank now. And again, he's never shown that he's capable of getting the kind of top-end talent, especially along the line of scrimmage, that you have to compete for national titles. Now, maybe that will be different with this revamped personnel staff. But until we see it, I don't believe it.
Well, here's the other problem, too, is that what year is he going into? Is this year 4 now at USC?
This is year 4 at USC. Yeah.
They're not going to be that good this year. So you're going to be going into year 5. Like, they're not going to the playoff this year. Okay.
We don't
so even
think,
if they go,
I mean,
if they go
who
8
knows?
And 4, you never know. I don't know. My thought process is that they're not going.
Well, right. Their best returning offensive lineman is now starting at Oregon.
So then you're going to be going into year 5, which is a half a decade of like, who's the quarterback? And I mean, I don't know. Maybe Longstreet's going to come in and just be an amazing all-world player.
Yeah.
It's very hard to predict the future. But if you go to year 5, having not won anything, that's a long time, Andy, especially in this new world. So, respect for the Heismans for sure. But
and the Big 12 titles.
If they lose 4 or 5 games this year, though, and we do this list again next year,
he's not going to be on it.
He's not going to be on it.
Yeah.
So
and that's the thing. It becomes the Bill Parcells thing after a while. You are what your record says you are. And like the thing with Lincoln Riley is he came on like gangbusters, and the Oklahoma fans will say, "Oh, Bob Stoops set him up." It's not all because of Bob Stoops. Like Lincoln Riley had it rolling at Oklahoma.
Even in the most sturdy scenarios, how many years do you think a coach can set up the incumbent for?
2 at the most,
right?
Yeah.
Like 4 is a long. He won 4 in a row, didn't
he? Yeah, he did.
Yeah,
and they were good the last year. They weren't good enough to win the title, but they were still good that last year.
Jalen Hurts was the Heisman finalist too, wasn't he? A runner-up.
Yeah, they won the league that year.
So I mean, like he was the architect of bringing in some pretty important players. That I mean, like Oklahoma fans.
Yeah, he recruited Caleb Williams to Oklahoma and then to USC.
Yeah.
So
yeah,
again, it's not. I'm not completely destroying his recruiting because he was great at
recruit the right position
at recruiting quarterback, but you got to recruit the big guys better.
But like, I'm completely out on him now.
I know you are, and I'm not. It's funny because I've been very critical all along, but I'm the one who won't give up on him yet because he's 41 years old. Like, he's too smart. I don't want to believe that he's not going to ever figure it out.
I just kind of feel like I was with you on that, but I feel like enough time has passed at USC where it's like it should have been fixed already.
Yeah.
And I know that you can be like, well, they got a better defense this past year. But it's like we're going into year
right. It's
four
an
here.
incremental improvement. You need to see him bring in classes like Ryan Day brings in. And like,
was
Kirby
USC
Smart
better
brings
this year than they were the year before? They were, right? A little bit better.
It's hard to say.
Their defense was better, but the team overall wasn't.
Yeah, they lost a lot of close games. The USC team the year before. Now, the USC team the year before played in the Pac-12, but the Pac-12, the last year of the Pac-12, was actually a pretty tough league.
Yeah, they also had Caleb that year.
Yeah, and they had Caleb Williams.
But like, I feel like their team has gotten incrementally worse.
I think that's a fair statement. Like, his first USC team was his best one. Second was the second best. Third was the third best. It's not a good trend line.
And the second one was bad because of its defense, but it still had a chance in every game it was in because it had
Caleb
one of the best players. So, the thing too is like, if USC comes into this year and doesn't have a dynamic quarterback, it's like, well, if you're not even going to do the thing that you're promised to do, which is to deliver an amazing quarterback and exciting offense that's going to put up points against everybody, then what do you have left?
Right.
Because you're not a defensive coach. You're not Mario Cristobal, another player or coach that I have on my list pretty high in terms of like building the trenches. So like that's the thing too. It's like Antonio Morales like said this. He's the athletic USC writer. That I think it's true. It's like, what is USC's identity as a program?
What are they supposed to be?
Who are they supposed to be?
Like, you hired Lincoln Riley to win national titles. You didn't hire Lincoln Riley to be okay.
And it's like, this is going to sound so shitty, and I'm sorry. But like, why? Like, is it okay that Miller Moss was our quarterback in year 3? Like, is that okay?
It would have been okay if he'd have been good.
He wasn't.
Right. So that's on Lincoln Riley.
And you would think that if you have 2 years
to figure that out, you knew when Caleb was leaving. Yeah, I know. It is the
fact that he had 2 full years there to know who the replacement was, and they didn't bring anyone in.
It's just frustrating to me, Ari, because I know he knows what he's doing, and I think he knows what the problems are. But
is it possible that he got so fixated on fixing the defense that he laxed a little bit on the offensive side?
It's not that, because it's defense and offense. They're not good at recruiting top end talent in the trenches. They're not good at it. Like, and they say, well, we got the best O-line and D-line coach in the country. Well, you don't, because those guys coach at places where they have good offensive and defensive lines. But you also don't get the level of talent required to have the best offensive and defensive lines in the country.
Thing too, there's no offensive linemen in California.
Right. Too many skinny people. Too many salads.
Too many longboarding down the beach.
Too many salads. Damn it.
Too many trips to Erewhon.
So I don't know. It's not the easiest thing in the world. Like, if it were so easy, everybody would do it. But the man gets paid $11 million, so he should do it.
But he should be in Texas and Georgia. And like, I also like give him crap for going to Georgia. It's like, oh, you can keep getting all these 5-star commitments out of the state
they're
going
to leave. They're not going to actually
Georgia
come
at the end of the year.
Yeah.
So, but like, you have to
maybe get them committed closer to the time they actually sign.
Maybe like going to Ohio and Pennsylvania.
Change your timing on that.
Indiana, like the Rust Belt, and get some real dogs, to come in there. I don't know what but like the thing is I don't know what USC is right now.
Yeah.
So, and he's still on the list because he's living off of the past, and like there's nothing exciting about the present.
So